Hello everybody, it's Craftin' Just Because with Chris Cowan, and I'm here today to bring you a fun tiered panel card that we are going to make using the Stargazing Designer Series paper. Love this paper. I'm also going to be pairing it with some Tahitian tied cardstock, some basic white cardstock. I'm going to use a sentiment from the Something Fancy, pull in some Night of Navy ink, and then based on what I like in the card, I'm also going to be pulling in some new dies that just came out in the holiday catalog, and these are the Stars at Night dies, and I might use a few of these to embellish the card with. So let's go ahead and get started. There's a lot of cutting on this one, but bear with me. We'll get it all done together and we'll have a beautiful card. So first we're going to cut the base of the card, the tube, and we want a piece of cardstock that is 5 inches by 6 inches. And we're going to want to score this, and we're going to go ahead and score it now because the other pieces we're just cutting. So we're going to score this at 1 inch on the 5-inch side, at 2 inches on the 5-inch side, 3 inches, and 4 inches. Okay, now we're just going to do one little thing. I want you to cut like a tiny little 1/8 of an inch off that side. Okay, because it'll line up better when we make our tube. So there's that piece. Now we're going to want to cut our Tahitian tied cardstock. And we want 4 pieces of each of the following dimensions. We want 4 pieces that are 1.5, let's do it this way, 1.5 by 3. Okay. Hold on just a second, my piece of paper fell. I've got a squeak in my chair too, so you'll hear that as well. Okay, so now we're going to want to cut 4 pieces that are 2.5 by 1.5. So there's 2.5, and then we'll do okay, and then we want 4 pieces that are 1.5 by 2. Okay, and last but not least, we want 4 pieces that are 1.5 by 1.5. Okay, now we're going to cut our designer series paper, And we want 4 pieces that are 1 1/4 by 2 3/4. Trying to think of how I want to do this. Okay, let's do it like this. Okay. So 1 1/4 by 2 3/4. And you want to keep these in line so your pattern matches up, okay? So I'm going to just put them down as I'll use them. Okay. Then I'm going to cut 4 pieces that are 1 1/4 by 2 1/4. Hold on just a second. We need to keep these in check, right? So I need to cut these in order so that the pattern matches up. So that was my bad. So let's see. We want 1 1/4 by 2 3/4, 1 1/4 by 2 1/4. One 1/4 by 1 3/4. And 1 1/4 by 1 1/4. Okay. So we'll have to cut each one individually so that the patterns all match up, okay? So the next piece we're going to cut, we're going to start again at 2 3. Actually, hold on, I want to bring in a different pattern paper here. Trying to think here. So I need one more. Okay. So I'm going to cut each one as its own separate panels, how I'm going to do it. Okay, so this one's going to be, let's see here. So we're going to cut this at 2 3/4 for the first piece. And then do 1 1/4. Okay. And then we want this one 1 1/4 by 2 1/4. So let me get the 1 1/4. And then 2 1/4. And then we need a 1 1/4 by 1 3/4. And then a 1 1/4 by 1 1/4. Okay, so then our next paper will be this one. And when you want to do it at the 2 3/4, and then we want to do 1 1 1/4, and then we want to do 1 1/4 by 2 1/4. And then 1 1/4 by 1 3/4. And then 1 1/4 by 1 1/4. Okay, so there's that piece. And then last piece, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to cut this at 2 3/4. Start from the bottom. We're going to go 1 3/4, or sorry, 1 1/4. And then we want a piece that is 1 1/4 by 2 1/4. And then we want a piece that is 1 1/4 by 1 3/4. And then one that is 1 1/4 by 1 1/4. Okay, so those are all of our pieces. So let me get rid of all of our designer series paper. I'm going to keep this piece out because I think I might cut out a planet or two. And then we also want to cut a piece of basic white cardstock for a sentiment. So we'll use one less of the designer series papers to do a sentiment. And I want that to be, let's see here, 1 or 2 3/4 by 1. So let's see here, 1 1/4. So 2 3/4 by 1 1/4. Okay. And then that's all of our cutting. I do want to do a tiny bit of die cutting really quick. So let's pull in our die cutting machine. And let's do a few stars. Oh, no, you know what I wanted to do? Not on that. Hold on just a second. I wanted to use the holographic paper that coordinates with this set. And let's see here. Where's my dies? We'll just fill this whole thing up with stars. That. We'll we'll just cut a bunch of stars out. Okay. And we'll die cut those all out so that we have a lot of embellishments. Okay. Perfect. Okay. These will make the card so pretty. Okay, so we have all of these. Okay. So we're done with that. And we're done with this. Okay. Let me get, we're going to stamp our sentiment. And I was thinking if it'll fit on what I just die cut, grateful for the everyday magic of you. Because this card to me screams magic. So, let's see if it'll fit on our little sentiment here box. It will. Okay. So then we're going to do Night of Navy ink. Right on down. Perfect. Wipe that off so I don't get ink everywhere. Okay. And then let's start putting this card together. Oh, let's do one other thing. Let's let that dry. And let's cut out this planet here. So as you can tell, well, I guess you can't tell. I'm using the designer series paper, but I don't even have this stamp set. So I just am using pieces from it to create a space card or a magical card. Okay, so let's start with our first section of layers. I'm going to get rid of the first one just because I want to glue this sentiment down on there. So I'm just going to layer those together just in the centers. Last one. Okay, So now we're going to do our next set, which is right here. We're going to start, it goes like this. Okay. I probably maybe should have picked just white cardstock to layer it in. I was thinking the Tahitian Tide would make it pop, but on that purple, it's a little different looking, but I think it'll look good when it's all put together. Sorry this is a longer video, you guys. Okay, so then our next set will be just the starry sky. Just like that. So if you were making a bunch of these, like say for a swap or something like that, you could totally do this if you did an assembly line process. I know it feels like it's a lot of pieces, but it'll go together really quick once we get all these layered together. And it's a fun, different kind of card. Okay, last but not least, we have those planets. So it's gonna go. Uh-oh, did I mess this? Oh, yep. Okay. Okay, last one. Okay, now we're going to fold and burnish our tube. Okay, we're going to put glue all over this little side that we cut that like little 1/8 of an inch piece off of. And the reason we did that is so that the tube will fold up nice and easy. Okay, so it's going to be a tube like this. So we want our seam to be in the back. I'm going to start here, and we're going to start from the bottom up. Okay. And we're just going to layer. So what you're going to do is you're going to put glue all over the top there to the top. And then you're just going to layer these down on the, make sure you're on the other side of that crease. Cute. Okay. Then we're going to go with our next color. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to start at the bottom. can work our way up. Okay, make sure those are nice and glued down. Then we're gonna go to the next side. Okay. We're gonna start at the bottom. Oh, I'm loving how this card turned out. It's so fun. Okay, and then last but not least, then it's our planet side. Come on. See how nicely that all lines up? Oh, I love it, love it, love it. Okay, so now I'm going to embellish it with some of these stars first. And I'm going to leave the planet to the darker side just because you know what? I wonder if we want another sentiment. Let me see what else I have here. I don't know. And let's do a little one. Okay. This is the one I think I'm going to add my planet to. Just like in the top corner there. And maybe one star. Just up at the top. And let's see. I'm going to put the small ones on here. And then this one. And then this last page, I think I'll do this big star there. And then this last one, and we'll be all done with the card. Super easy. Like I said, the hardest part was just being patient and, you know, adhering all the layers together. But let's look at our card. So it'll stand up, okay? This will be your front, your side. See how it just does a pinwheel effect? So thank you guys for joining me today. I think I might put a tiny bit of glue right here. I appreciate you joining me. And until next time, my creative peeps, I will see you later. Okay? Bye-bye.